hope you've been enjoying the cooler temperatures. Good morning. I'm Jiminita Swain, and welcome to the Morning Edition. There is so much happening in the show this morning, but before we get into all of that, Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean joins us with a check of weather. Good morning, Basil.
This weather report is sponsored by Bank of the Bahamas, the bank of solutions.
Good morning, Jiminita. We woke up to some chilly temperatures this morning, courtesy of a cold front which went through the capital last evening. It now resides in the central Bahamas. Those clouds, they're starting to break up as well, and that means chilly temperatures for yet a few days to come. Outside of our studios, it is mostly cloudy, but that will change. The temperature, a very cool 68 degrees, relative humidity at 55%, west-northwest winds at 14 miles per hour. The barometric pressure, 1,013.6 millibars. That is 29.95 inches, and it is rising. Temperatures around the islands this morning. Look up here in the extreme north, 60 degrees in Marsh Harbor, 59 degrees in Greentoll Key, Freeport, Grand Bahama at 59 degrees, 68 in the Berry Islands, 64 in Alistown, Bimini, 69 in Harbour Island, Roxani, Lutra at 71, 72 in Otterstown, Canales, Staniel Key 69, 69 in Kemps Bay, St. Andros, Fresh Creek in Central Andros at 68 degrees, 72 in San Salvador and Rum Key. As we take you into Ragged Island, things warm up a bit to 77 degrees. Clarence, Sound Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay and Ackles all at 77. Matchitown, Inagua 78 degrees, and the warm spot this morning is the Turks and Caicos Islands at 80 degrees. And in case you are flying out this morning, here are some high and low temperatures you're likely to find at some of your favorite cities.
No, Mama, we ain't gonna rake and scrape. We can clean the house just like you say. That's right, right? Yeah, that's right. We rake and scrape. All right, now. Mama don't like no raking and scraping in here. Mama don't like no raking and scraping in here. Hey, he don't care, but Mama don't like no raking and scraping anyhow. Mama don't like no raking and scraping in here. Now, Mama don't know that we are up. I ain't talking about the way she took rake and scrape that's pumping through our veins. We can rate that she go up, we're gonna rake and scrape beside the stuff. Yeah, the neighbors scream and shout.
And that's going to do it for your travel forecast. It's time now to take a look at your boating forecast on this chilly Tuesday morning for the northwest and central islands. The winds will be out of the northwest at 10 to 15 knots. Wave heights 2 to 4 feet. The low tide that will take place at 6:28 this morning. High tide 12:44 in the afternoon. Now for the southeast Bahamas today, southwest winds at 10 to 15 knots and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your first look at weather in the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Well, thanks, Basil. As you can see from our live tower cam shot, a beautiful Tuesday morning shaping up. Of course, as Basil mentioned, it is a little bit cool this morning, but Antoine Smith and the traffic team is standing by to give us an update for your morning commute. Good morning, Antoine.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Good morning, Jiminita, and good morning, Bahamas. This morning's traffic report comes to you live from one of the most busiest roadways here in New Providence, and that's Prince Charles and Soldier Road. Now, this area experiences quite a lot of congestion already. We've seen like a lot of drivers running that red light. So joining us this morning to talk about the active roadways this season is Sergeant Jerome Thompson of the Royal Bahamas Police Traffic Unit. Sergeant Thompson, thank you for joining us.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Bahamas. Thank you. You're welcome.
Can you tell us about what's been happening overnight in terms of traffic?
Overnight, we had a very busy night again. We had a total of 31 crashes. 5 of those were hit-and-run accidents, and we had one accident that involved injuries.
Now, we know hit and runs are a major problem. You've been telling us that just about every day we come out here. And this morning, Sergeant Thompson actually gave me a document listing the top 10 reasons why persons are most likely to leave the scene of a hit and run. And I'm just going to list some of those here for you. So those are fleeing a previous crash, driving while under the influence of drugs and alcohol, driving without adequate insurance coverage, and the list goes on and on and on from there. So you can elaborate on that for us.
Yes, there are quite a number of reasons. We came up with the top 10 reasons why persons would flee the scene of an accident. And one of those driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Persons, they would know that, hey, if they are under the influence of drugs or alcohol, once we have reason to believe that they are under the influence, and we take them to the hospital and have blood drawn, that is an arrestable offense. So persons will try to avoid that and try to minimize their involvement in a crash, and they'll want us to catch up with them later and charge them for leaving the scene of an accident, which is not taking your freedom. So persons will want to take that route.
There are also quite a few on this list that also raise an eyebrow or two, so you can just elaborate on a little bit more of those reasons why for us.
Yes, also persons who don't have any legal status here in the country, they know once we are conducting our investigations and we find out that they don't have any status, they'll also be arrested. And persons who, like I mentioned yesterday, who would be driving with other people's spouses, they don't want to be busted. This is a very small country, so they would rather leave the scene and probably come to the station later to report those matters, rather than to be caught doing what they're not supposed to be doing.
All right, folks, those are actually on this list. Today we also observed quite a few jaywalkers here. That's pedestrians that are running across the carriageway. Is that quite a particular problem?
Yes, it is indeed a problem. We need more pedestrian crossings to be erected. And also I wanted to mention that there were some road works in the area of some Blue Hill Road on Independence roundabout, where Ministry of Works, they would have blocked the road. We didn't see any permit, so we had those persons remove those barricades that also pose danger to the public. There were no warning systems in place, and that could have been a catastrophe, but thank God for the vigilance of the police officers who passed that area. They reported the matter to the control room, and they sent officers to that location to have those barricades removed. And Ministry of Works, they have to get the proper documents, get the permit signed from the Commissioner of Police, so we can have officers monitor those locations from the traffic division and also the area commanders.
All right, folks, so you want to take note of those locations Sergeant Thompson would have just illustrated. Also, going into the busy season, you want to practice driving under the speed limit and staying safe. Now, it's a chilly December morning. Sergeant Thompson has on a jacket and I don't. So we're going to wrap that up here. That's all for your morning traffic report. Back to you in the studio, Jimenita.
Well, thanks to Antoine. Now to our top story this morning. Tragedy struck another community as an argument turned deadly overnight. This morning, police continue their investigations into a shooting in the Carmichael district. Our Lord Allen was at that scene.
A family's life has been changed forever. Here off Dominica Way on Carmichael Road, a family reported that shortly after 6 p.m. this afternoon, a young man visiting the area was apparently attacked via gunshots. In the quiet southern community, residents say most days one could count the number of vehicles which traverse the main street. But an altercation between two men, resulting in one of the men being shot and killed and leaving behind his family to mourn his death, Dominica Way will never be the same. Police Superintendent Shanta Knowles explains.
Two men were here at this residence. They're known to each other. They got into an argument. One of them left the residence, came back with a firearm and shot the other, of course. We know the end results of that. I can't say that he's known to the police. The suspect or the victim is known to the police at this time, but we do know that they're known to each other.
According to Knowles, the suspect ran away from the scene, leaving the victim lying in a pool of blood. Several residents are assisting police with locating the man responsible for the shooting.
We are speaking to people in the community and witnesses who are giving us information as to his correct identity. And of course, we have a team of officers in search for him.
Several onlookers were at the scene at the time ZNS News arrived. Among them, Synovia Evans, who identified herself as the sister of the victim. Evans says her 29-year-old brother was a taxi driver, father, and a good person.
I called my brother today because to pick up my children and my nieces. He picked them up from school and he took them by my other sister, but I didn't know where he dropped them. And as soon as I gone home and checked, I saw the churn. And my phone ring and tell me, said my brother just get shoot. Someone shoot him and someone kill him. I don't know.
Evan says her brother did not live in the area and was simply dropping off the kids and visiting a girlfriend who lived nearby. Evan recounts the last words her brother spoke to her.
He said, all right, I can get them and I can bring them home for you.
And as is just weeks before the Christmas holiday, this young man adds to the list of several persons killed for the year. Reporting from Dominica Way, Carmichael Road, Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Lloyd. A legal fight brewing to rid the country of shantytowns. Attorney General the Honorable Carl Bethel remains confident as the government moves to fight pending legal action launched by Rights Bahamas to block further evictions and demolition of shantytowns across the country. The organization filed an affidavit last week accusing government of fostering anti-Haitian sentiment.
We will fight, and I'm satisfied that we will win. Our struggle is not against Haitian ethnicity or the Haitian people. It is against unhealthy, unsafe, unsanitary standards of living. It is saying simply this: we want to properly integrate all persons under the protection of our laws into proper Bahamian society. We do not want to have the perpetuation of little ethnic ghettos. It is well documented that Haitian shantytowns are unhealthy, unsafe, unsatisfactory, and particularly dangerous for children, as well as the adults, and also very dangerous for the surrounding communities.
Well, from a financial standpoint, the National Insurance Board is expected to be hit hard in the new year. In fact, management's projecting a sizable deficit between contributions income and benefit payments. Also, Hurricane Dorian left many Bahamians jobless, and contributing businesses over in Grand Bahama and Abaco closed. Officials say they've sought to prudently manage NIB's resources by slowing the growth of administrative expenses while preserving the staff complement, and while management says the path to improve sustainability is difficult and unpopular, they accept that it is necessary for the thousands of Bahamians who depend on the fund. While the grouper season is officially closed, and executives of the Bahamas Reef Environment Educational Foundation, or BREEF, are encouraging fishermen and members of the public to adhere to the laws. The Nassau group is among several critically endangered marine species in the country, and the public must comply to allow for reproduction. BREEF Executive Director Casuarina McKinney-Lambert tells us more.
The closed season was put into law in 2015, but for about 10 years before that, there had been annual closed seasons put in each year. Not always for the same amount of time, sometimes for 3 months, sometimes for 2 months, sometimes for 1 month. So there has been a growing awareness of the importance of these winter months for protecting the Nassau grouper populations. And so we do expect to see the populations rebound, particularly as more and more people are abiding by these regulations. We're asking the public to support the closed season by not catching Nassau grouper during the closed season and not buying or selling it.
Lambert says that a good food alternative to the Nassau grouper is the lionfish. The fish is known for its venomous fins, but once clipped, there's nothing to fear due to an overpopulation of the lionfish.
The lionfish doesn't have any natural predators in Bahamian waters, so that's one of the reasons why the population has expanded so rapidly. Some species have been seen eating lionfish in Bahamian waters, some sharks and some groupers, but it's not as common occurrence as we might like. And in fact, fishermen can market lionfish to a lot of restaurants that are serving it now. We're right here by Compass Point. Compass Point often serves lionfish. There's several restaurants at Atlantis that serve lionfish. And on Eleuthera, Ocean View, and a number of restaurants will serve lionfish, and also use the spines for jewelry and all sorts of other things.
Well, still to come in the morning edition, the race is on to select a Christmas tree. We'll tell you why. Stick with us.
It's time for the best of the best regatta, December 5th through 8th. See the best boats, the best crews, the best skippers, all compete in the best harbor. And on land, the best onshore activities. With the action on the water and the fun on the shore, there's something for everyone. And at night, check out the best in Bahamian entertainment. It's the best of the best regatta, December 5th through 8th. Be there.
Rolls Auto Parts, Hardware and Accessories have expanded its brand to include home and hardware essentials. Browse the many aisles for dinette sets, microwaves, bedding supplies, and so much more. We also stock plumbing supplies, electrical fittings and fixtures, and gardening tools for all of those needed repairs. Located East Street South. Telephone 392-1121 through 4. Come in and let us serve you today.
We fuse the passion, the pride, and the rhythm of Junkanoo with the beer of the Bahamas to answer one question. Who are we? We are Junkanoo. Represent your group today and purchase a limited edition 16-ounce Collect Junkanoo can from your neighborhood 700 wines and spirits store or your favorite watering hole.
It's the OT with yours truly, Charles Fisher.
Buddy Hield and the Kings have their...
Buddy Hield seemed to be having the best season of his career. He had 32 points the other night. It was a bit disappointing, Shawnee Miller not winning the IWF World Female Athlete of the Year. The high school rankings will soon be out. Tabernacle, the defending champion, CC Sweeting, they are always there. Who will it be this year? Each Monday on 1540 AM and 104.5 FM, it's the OT with yours truly, Charles Fisher.
Across the entire span of the Bahamas, there is a strategic spread of national parks, which play a vital role in protecting the survival and well-being of diverse wildlife, as well as Bahamian livelihoods. The Andros Westside National Park, for instance, consists of thriving bonefish populations, the healthiest stands of red mangroves found in the Bahamas, breeding and nursery areas that support wildlife such as snappers, groupers, lobsters, and threatened and endangered species like marine turtles, the Andros rock iguana, and the flamingo.
If we do not effectively safeguard our natural treasures, vital habitats, which include nursery and breeding areas, will become vulnerable to a number of threats impacting the way we live. We must remember to do our part to maintain the integrity of the natural environment. Remember, if we take care of nature, nature will take care of us.
Imagine if what we grew in our own backyards right here in the Bahamas were the key ingredients to curing some of the world's deadliest diseases. Imagine this or this being that life-changing discovery and taking the entire world by storm. But now, imagine that this island nation couldn't benefit in any way. Without the push by the BEST Commission to strengthen access and benefit sharing, the Bahamas could very well find itself in this position and left without recourse. If we're not informed, it could be detrimental to us all. Let us get educated and put our best foot forward.
This message is brought to you by the BEST Commission and its partners. For more information online, visit best.gov.bs.
When I got the call of what CSCO was doing with the Give Back Girl project, I immediately said yes.
Just go ahead and run everything to go well. And I told CSCO, I don't know if I could go to Abaco. I don't know. I know I would just be an emotional wreck.
Hey guys, I need help.
The difference this time, it was a lot larger. These projects take a lot to make happen.
Well, with a lot of anticipation, but I kept looking, kept
looking.
We had volunteers near and far.
It was important for everyone to be on the same page, to be organized.
The police said, hey, you all were here all day, and someone was able to come in and plant something, and the dog found it.
Without people like Sieska, the world would be pretty much messed up.
See, there's the things y'all gotta watch.
Welcome back to the morning edition. Celebrating the Christmas season, the University of the Bahamas hosted their annual Christmas tree lighting on the front lawn of the Keva M. Battle building Monday evening. Students, faculty, and staff all attended the ceremony singing carols and observing the blue-lit UB Christmas tree. President of the University of the Bahamas, Dr. Rodney Smith, spoke about the significance of the annual observance.
It's really, really important that we come together, particularly at this time of the year like this. We share our happiness and joy with each other as a UB family. We light our Christmas tree as a family. We pray together and sing Christmas carols as a family, and then we have refreshments afterwards. Things like this on campus help to keep a campus unified in every which way, making sure that we celebrate together as many opportunities as possible.
Well, Chair of the School of Communications and Creative Arts, Dr. Walteria Tucker-Roll, shared a Christmas message on the importance of recognizing our time and embracing hope.
We just wanted to encourage everybody today, especially given what the country has been through and what the institution has been through as a part of the country. I just hope that everybody will see the Christmas story in that light for this season, and to know that even after we've gone through something as devastating as a hurricane, and it's severely wounded us, it's also an opportunity for us to stand up and declare the greatness of our purpose. And so we just want everybody to be hopeful, to remember that this is a season for hope, and to be encouraged as we continue on to do the great things that we were all born to do.
Well, if you're thinking about how you want to deck the halls this Christmas, but don't think about it too long, Anthony Smith has more on just what you need to know to get those Christmas trees early.
It's a yearly Christmas tradition.
The families that come out buy the Christmas trees, yeah.
But this year, it might be a costly one. For yet another year, Christmas tree salesmen are hit with a tree shortage. We spoke to Prince Aubrey of Prince Aubrey Christmas Trees, who says, if you see fewer locations this year, don't be surprised.
My supply is very limited. Sell out early. There's not much Christmas trees in this town. You know, everybody will sell them. You know, you can't get the amount that you would normally get. Okay, I even cut back on some locations I would normally have, because I couldn't get the supply.
Behind it all, the short supply of Christmas trees across the Northern Americas. According to the American National Christmas Tree Association, the root of the problem dates all the way back to the 2008 recession. Less families bought trees. In return, tree farmers planted less. And Aubrey says because the perfect tree takes time to grow, it's resulted in a premium price.
Big trees are so expensive. They take about 10 years to grow, right? The past 3-4 years, I would say the past 3 years, Christmas trees have gone up tremendously. The price of Christmas trees from the supplier, you know, it's almost at least 50%.
And although there may be a short supply of the famous pine, things are still looking holly and jolly for both Christmas tree salesmen and families.
Ain't nothing to stop Amy from enjoying Christmas. Nothing. That's all around the world, you know. It's nothing going to stop them. They mightn't spend as much, but they want to enjoy Christmas, you know. Christmas is in all of us.
Antoinette Smith, ZNS Network News.
Well, in the Americas, of which the Bahamas is included, 1 in 5 men will not reach the age of 50 due to issues relating to toxic masculinity. A recent report published by the Pan American Health Organization says men live almost 6 years less than women. The Masculinities and Health in the Region of the Americas report highlights that societal expectations of men to be providers, to engage in risk-seeking behaviors, to be sexually dominant, and to avoid discussing their emotions or seeking help behaviors, commonly referred to as toxic masculinity, are contributing to higher rates of suicide, homicide, addictions, and road traffic accidents, as well as chronic non-communicable diseases among men. One local therapist weighs in.
The term toxic masculinity is very highly connected to a fragile ego. Right? That's an ego that always feels as though it has to defend itself against something. And most Bahamian men in our culture are defending themselves against this form of weakness, right? That they perceive to be the opposite of masculinity, right? Some heightened sense of being a woman or some femininity. And so you find that men have struggled with resolving conflict in nonviolent ways. Men have had issues connecting with their emotions because they identify that as a weakness or as more female than male.
The report highlights that 1 in 5 men die before the age of 50, with the leading causes of death listed as heart disease, interpersonal violence, and road accidents directly related to socially accepted macho behaviors. Cognitive behavioral therapist Harrison Thompson says in weighing in, a man unable to connect with himself begins to unravel.
Where he's attempting to find himself, but he's always missing the mark. He's always just shy. You can be so close but so far away, and this is why you find men tend to engage in such extreme behavior, like binge drinking, partying, hypersexualization, unreal standards in relationships. These types of things are almost distractions to help him feel better about his inability to connect with himself. The more sexually active he is, the more he's perceived as masculine among his friends and comrades. This, of course, can be very toxic.
The report suggests this concept of masculinity or machismo leads to risk in the form of violence, sexually transmitted infections, lack of shared responsibility in the home, or risk to other men such as accidents, homicides, and other violence. He says the home is one place an intervention could be made.
We need to start back in the home. Understanding that it's not so much about gender roles as much as it is teamwork. I often encourage husbands and wives not to think alike, but to think together. Because the process of thinking together removes a lot of the pressures from having to do something that we are not able to do, right? If I don't have money, but you do, we should be able to think together on that issue to get the matter resolved.
This is another.
There are people out there other than just our family that needs help, right? We tend to look at life in terms of what we can do for us and for ours, but sometimes we have to step outside of that comfort zone and give back to others who don't have the opportunity to reach out to a mentor or to reach out to someone who comes from a different place than I do, right? And so sometimes just engaging with people on your commute to the food store, engaging in community service, sometimes slowing down and just talking to kids along the way. All of these things are things we can do that doesn't require so much change, but it has such a big effect.
Well, we will chat more with Thompson on this issue tomorrow and how the problem can be tackled from a policy point of view. Well, stick with us. There's more to come on the Morning Edition.
Life is filled with choices. Every choice we make has a consequence. Whether big or small, financial choices have more lasting consequences than most. When we make sound financial choices, we improve our relationship with money and set ourselves up for financial success. Visit GetMoneySmartBahamas.com and learn how to get money smart today.
Introducing a secret that's been around for 30 years. It's AG Electric. It's the most trusted source for lighting, electrical supplies, fixtures, and home accessories. Some may know it as the place along Jerome Avenue with the big Junkanoo piece outside. Yeah, Kyle, you're getting your house fixed up, eh? But it's the inside that's gonna amaze you. They've got outdoor and indoor lighting solutions, ceiling fans, furniture, and so much more. So the next time you have a home project or see the big Junkanoo piece, think AG Electric.
Influenza, or the flu as it is commonly called, is a viral illness that usually occurs between the months October to March. The virus is transmitted from person to person through coughing, sneezing, or talking. Symptoms include fever, cough, headache, runny nose, generalized body aches, and fatigue. There is no specific treatment for the flu, and the symptoms usually dissipate after 3 to 7 days. Because it is caused by a virus, antibiotics are not used to treat the flu. Persons are encouraged to rest and drink lots of fluids. Panadol is recommended for fever and body aches associated with the flu. However, aspirin should be avoided due to the risk of bleeding. To decrease the spread of flu, persons are encouraged to get their flu shot annually and practice good cough hygiene. Additional information can be provided by your community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
What you see on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, and programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcasted by this television station. The code is available on IRCA's website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 242-300-8722. Or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
Welcome back to the morning edition. The Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority, or IRCA, hearing the concerns of residents in Grand Bahama. IRCA mounted a pop-up office on the island. Megan Shepard has more.
Executive Officer of the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority, IRCA, Stephen Barreau, says that they want to make their presence felt on the island of Grand Bahama and throughout the family of islands. He says that these pop-up office meetings will ensure that their regulatory activities are brought to all of the islands on a regular basis.
We've established a series of pop-up offices, which basically means we bring our key members of our team to the island, and we're here and available to members of the public in Grand Bahama to make complaints, discuss IRCA issues, and generally to get a feel for how people feel about the sectors that we regulate. It would be remiss of me not to note that obviously we have some jurisdictional challenges in relation to the port area in particular. We hope that those will begin to be resolved during 2020 or early in 2020. In the meantime, though, we feel it's important to exercise what we see the law as telling us we are responsible for.
Director of Communications Carlton Smith, adding that they want to hear from residents, particularly post-Hurricane Dorian. He notes that services were interrupted in both the telecommunications and broadcast sectors, and this will give the authority an opportunity to receive feedback from both the service providers and consumers.
We get to hear how that service is being restored. We've been receiving reports from the various service providers as to the recovery efforts on Grand Bahama to see if the reports that we're receiving are in line with what people are saying that they're receiving on the island of Grand Bahama. So it also gives us an opportunity to better understand what are the challenges that people are facing in the telecommunications sector and broadcast sectors.
Director of Utilities and Energy, Siobhan Cambridge, adding that while they do have some jurisdiction issues, they are on the ground to liaise with all stakeholders and to get a feel of the situation on the island.
Having just gone through the Hurricane Dorian, the passage of Hurricane Dorian, and the damage that has happened to the local infrastructure, one of the things that we're here to see is what lessons can be learned in terms of resiliency and the rebuild and the development of all of the islands of the Bahamas. So it's not just about Grand Bahama, but we're kind of on a fact-finding mission that would allow us to improve lives through better regulation of utilities.
Now, Director of Corporate and Consumer Relations, Mavis Johnson-Colley, is encouraging residents to take advantage of the pop-up office and voice their concerns. She says that complaints should not always be seen as negative, but rather present an opportunity for improvement. She notes the areas of top concern on Grand Bahama.
Billing, concerns of the time it takes to have services restored once services have been disrupted, and not knowing where to go and the kinds of questions to ask, and not understanding the obligations on the part of the service providers. Yes, there are obligations that the consumer has, but there are also some obligations on the part of the providers to ensure that their service reach a certain standard, an agreed standard that has been set in conjunction with the regulator, to understand that, within a certain period of a disconnection, whether it's a wrongful disconnection or a disconnection with reason, that there's a certain time frame within which I can expect to have my services restored.
Now, pop-up hours will be from 9 a.m. to 12 noon through Tuesday, December 3rd. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Megan. As Grand Bahama struggles to rebuild, business owners receiving some incentives during a tech summit and a grant to assist small businesses in the rebuilding process. Jamila Mizik reports.
Several small and medium-sized businesses attending a tech business forum at the Grand Lucayan Resort. Noting the importance of the workshop for businesses in Grand Bahama, Minister of State for Grand Bahama, Senator the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, says the government thought that since businesses will have to rebuild in any event, they should rebuild smarter and using the latest technology.
We've invited persons like the governor of Central Bank, who's going to be talking about their new digital currency. We've invited folks like Cloud Kareem, who was talking about how you can deal with your data in a more secure and digitally, and how you can do it by using cloud instead of doing paper and using this paper data. We also have folks who have been approved to do the e-wallet and digital currency, so that we can begin to encourage businesses to use the e-wallet and use digital currency as well.
The minister adding that the idea is to bring the small businesses together, tell them about what the government is offering, and encourage them to use digital technology. The Technology Innovation Grant was also launched.
What this is we are offering those businesses who have been affected by the storm here in Grand Bahama a grant that is used specifically for technology and used specifically for creating more innovation in your business. So persons here can get up to $25,000 if your business has been damaged, to go towards either replacing or upgrading technology. But we actually want to encourage them to use innovation when it comes to their business. And so today really is about what the government is offering for small businesses, how we can help them, and that if they're going to rebuild, then we have to encourage them to rebuild smarter using technology.
Now he says persons can apply for the Technology Innovation Grant through the Office of the Prime Minister or the Small Business Development Center. Shamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Well, we turn now to boat building and the contributions being made by a young Bahamian. We join Antoine Smith live. Good morning again, Antoine.
Well, if you're a fan of sailing, the regattas, or just the water in general, then we've got a treat for you. Joining us this morning on the Morning Edition is one of the top sailors in the country. We have Stephen Knowles with us. How are you doing this morning?
Great. How are you?
I'm pretty good now. We're going into the best of the best weekend coming up soon, and we just want to know, how are you preparing for that?
Right now, with the VDK over here, we raced in Long Island a couple of weeks ago, and we ran aground, and subsequent to that, we capsized. So we had some damage to the boat on the sides and on the deck, on the keel. So we're trying to get it painted up now. The guy was supposed to do some painting yesterday, but because of the the weather, the rain came down with a cold front. He wasn't able to do it, so hopefully he gets it done today or first thing in the morning, because we have the race on Thursday. We also damaged the mast. We had to do some repairs to that. I'm going to finish that up today. So we'll be ready by Thursday, God's willing. The chase, we're going to put it in the water today to get ready. They're launching all of the boats today on Pawleski Dock. So it's going to be an exciting weekend.
So you will have two boats in the race. That's the Chase and the Whitty K. And the Whitty K is your sort of, you can say, your winning boat. Tell me all the work that you were listing, the damage that happens to it. Tell me all the work that really goes into sort of like preparing that boat to get back in the water again.
Well, the Whitty K, which is a C-class, they race more during the year. We race the Whitty K anywhere between 6 and 8 times a year. So the likelihood of things happening is higher because it travels a lot around the islands and, just stuff happens. The Susan Chase, we only race it 3 times a year, Georgetown, Long Island, and this regatta. There's also another one, the Running Tide, that came from Long Island Chase already on Pawleski Dock in the A-class that I race. We're going to put it in today too. But, when you have damage like that, it takes a lot of time. Like I said, I was telling you earlier, the preparation work is the key with anything, just like cooking. With painting, it takes a lot of time to get it ready to paint. Painting is the easy part. And it's just tedious, even with the gluing of the wood. You have to leave that glue overnight for it to dry. You can't just do it now, clamp it, and an hour later say you're gonna do more work to it. You have to let it sit at least 12 hours before you can do anything else. So you see all the clamps over there on the trailer. That pry actually cracked when we capsized also. So I'm trying to get that fixed. I did that yesterday. I'm going to finish that up early this morning. I've been working on these things from Friday. Do a couple hours every day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yesterday, now today. So it's a lot of time and dedication. If you don't do those things, when you go out and race, you might break down and you might not finish the race. So you have to be prepared.
Okay, so this is the best of the best weekend. So nothing but the best. Tell me, what does this particular regatta mean for you?
Well, this regatta is unique in itself because the other regattas that we have, we race over 4 days, but the final 3 races of the series, you add up all the points, and the guy that ends up with the most points or the least points, depending on how they score it, wins. So it's really the best out of 3 days. In this particular regatta, you race for 3 days to kind of qualify. Say, for instance, in the C-class, you have upwards of 40 boats, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. On Sunday, only 10 would sail. In the B-class, you have about 10 or 11. Only 5 would sail on Sunday, and the same thing in the A. So it's like an elimination process. Once you get in on Sunday, whoever wins that one race wins the regatta. So it's very atypical of regatta racing throughout the country. It's kind of unique. So you could win every race Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and you could come out Sunday and don't win anything and end up second or third or fourth, and you won't win overall. So you have to, it's a different mental state of preparation in a sense. You want to do well Thursday, Friday, and Saturday so you can qualify for Sunday, but Sunday it's all hands on deck to win that one race to be the best of the best champion. So it's a different mindset, basically.
So I told you that it is chilly, and this weekend, I don't know what's going to happen, but you told me not to worry about that because it's sort of perfect conditions for sailing, and you're just ready to get out there on the water.
Well, when you get out there early in the morning, like right now, if you go out on the boat and you get splashed with the seawater, trust me, it does feel cold. No lie. But ironically, I was in Boston last weekend watching the Patriots and the Cowboys game. And I don't know if you've seen it on TV. It was very windy and rainy. So I bought some very good foul weather gear. Normally, this time of the year, I just go out and, I might wear a long pants or one of these shirts, long sleeve, or jacket. But sometimes, you get cold. But if it gets cold this weekend, I'm going to put on that fall weather gear. I don't want the Patriots game.
All right.
And I won't have to worry about
So he has that cold weather gear, and he is ready for the waters no matter how cold. The Susan Chase and the Woody K are coming for the Best of the West weekend. And reporting from here in the Boatyard, I'm Antoinette Smith from ZNS Network News. Back to you in the studio.
Well, thanks, Anthony Fisher. It seems like Stephen has his work cut out for him, but he's ready.
He's ready. It's going to be an exciting weekend. All gets underway on Thursday, but we're going to start things off this morning because we have more on the best of the best this weekend. We have the Commodore and the chairman in studio, and they're going to give us more information on that. And don't forget, ZNet Television Network will be providing coverage each morning from 9 to 9:30 with a half-hour program, and also we'll be showing the races live, so you are totally covered with ZNet, and I hope you come on out there. You and I can go in a sculling race.
So it sounds like a package in sports. Don't go anywhere.
Ready, Skull?
You know what you're doing? You look like you know what you're doing.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, your hottest place on the planet for rims, tints, tires, and auto sales. We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Track Lights, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king. Blessed love. That's how rough riders roll.
Abuse, domestic violence, suicidal tendencies. Are you being stressed out from these problems? Call the national hotline at 422-2763 or 322-2763. There are trained social workers available 24 hours to help you. Know that you are not alone in this.
December 5th through 8th, it's sailing competition at its finest with the best of the best regatta live on the ZNS network. All races, all classes. Call the ZNS sales department at 502-3902 and have your business cash in on all the excitement. There's only one network for sloop sailing, the ZNS network, the People's Station. The best of the best regatta, December 5th through 8th, beginning at 9 a.m. on the ZNS network.
They say that greatness is a choice, but what have you chosen? You've been frozen in time and broken in mind. For too long, the same song playing in your head. Living in breath, but better off dead. You have greatness inside you, but you must choose to be great. Blaze a path of excellence, leave fear in your way. All you need is already inside you. You just must believe in yourself. Roll towards your greatness and discover true love.
Good morning once again. Sports Heritage Festivities comes to a close tonight with the National Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony that will go over at Government House. This year's event being held under the theme Locally Known, Globally Known, and they include
Culmer for softball, Linda Davis, basketball, Basil the Kid Sands, basketball, Grand Bahama, Stansell Stoney Ferguson, basketball, Paul Wong, bodybuilding, Raymond Tucker, bodybuilding, Ray Wiley, bodybuilding, Grand Bahama, Ronald Cartwright, coach track and field, just recently honored as well at the IAAF World Championships. Jackie Conyers, volleyball. M. Ambrose Guthrie, golf, Grand Bahama. Prince Zorro Stubbs, golf, posthumously. And Walter Callender, track and field, posthumously.
Again, that event goes down tonight, but come this coming weekend, it's all about the best of the best. We have the best of the best in studio this morning. I'm Charles Fisher, Barry Wilmot, Chester Fox, he's the Commodore, he's the chairman. First of all, Barry, how are things shaping up for this weekend?
Charles, all the I's has been dotted, all the T's crossed, and we are ready. The best of the best we kicked off on Thursday of this week. But prior to kicking off, we have a wonderful reception for our sailors on Wednesday at the Nassau Royal Sailing Club. A lot has gone into this event, and we all are excited and ready to go.
This beautiful backdrop in the back is making me feel like I'm on the water already. How many boats are we expecting this year, and how were they selected?
Actually, we have approximately 50-plus boats. I'll let Chester talk about the selection process.
Yeah, well, you know, this year it was pretty much an open event, so it was not a selection per se. It was just anybody who felt that they wanted to compete was able to compete in this year's Best of the Best. So that being said, we ended up with some 10 A-class boats, 11 B-class boats, and 32 C-class boats. So this year, we are looking at the largest fleet ever in the history of the BOB.
Well, like you heard Stephen say just now, you could win the first 3 days and come back Sunday and lose. That don't mean nothing. You could win all the regattas this year. You could have won Georgetown, you could have won Long Island, but this is the one that really counts.
Yeah, so that is why preparation is so key for these guys, and they want to try to make sure that they're both in top shape, because getting to Sunday is one thing, but everybody want to be able to hold that trophy at the end of the day and say that we are 2019 Best of the Best champion.
And you're a Commodore. What is the format when we start racing on Thursday?
Well, on Thursday, you know, like in the prior years, it's a 3-day elimination process. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are the elimination races. So at the end of that 3 days racing, we, in the A-class, the top 5 boats who accumulated the most points or the less points, I'm not sure whether we're going to use the low point scoring system or the high point scoring system, but either way, the top 5 boats after the end of Saturday's racing will advance to Sunday, and the same thing in the B class, be carrying over the top 5 in the B class and the top 10 in the C class.
And nobody is missing from this year's regard. We have all the top sloops.
All the top sloops. Unfortunately, with Dorian passing through Abaco, that put a damper on that set them back, so they are not able to compete this year. And you know, It Ain't Right is a prior champion, and Lonesome Dove is a previous champion as well. So they're going to be missing Lonesome Dove in the B class and It Ain't Right in the C class. So they're going to be a big miss this year. But we all know what happened to Abaco as a result of Hurricane Dorian. So those guys are in a serious rebuilding stage now. So, you know, our heart go out to them, and we wish them all the best. And hopefully we'll see them back on the sailing circuit soon.
And speaking about Dorian, Barry, there's a drive going around. You may see some persons around with those buckets, because all proceeds, some of the proceeds, I should say, from this year is going towards Hurricane Dorian relief.
Yeah, as a sponsor, we really want to do something for those affected by Hurricane Dorian. So the committee got together and we got a mandate that we must do something. So we're having a dollar drive, and then we're going to partner with the sailors. And I must say, congratulations to the sailors, because they have committed that they will donate a portion of their prize money and their sailing money to go towards our effort. We have teams of persons from the ministry, all staff, who will be on the streets. They did it yesterday, and they intend to do it on tomorrow, Wednesday, and hopefully on Friday and Saturday. They're going to be at the site collecting funds. So whatever you have in your pocket, whether it's change, whether it's a dollar, we will take all. They did extremely well yesterday. The public is really buying into it, and we really, really want to say thank you. And the sailors will be joining us also on tomorrow, on Friday, to participate in this event. It's a really, really wonderful effort, and all the funds will be donated to NEMA to assist with the aftermath of hurricane.
Now, a person like me, you, and Chester, we be watching all the sailing. We have Basel, we have McCushla here, and we have Jiminy here. They don't know nothing but sailing. So what's on store for them on the onshore activities?
Sailing is going to be the key component of this regatta. But like any regatta, we have the onshore activities. And the onshore activities will really take effect on Friday. We have onshore activities that will cater to every night, a nightly concert. And this being the Best of the Best regatta, we have the best of the best in local entertainment. We have the best in terms of onshore activities. On Saturday, we're going to name it Family Day. And this year, what we intend to do, we want everybody to come out. There's something for everyone, from 1-year-old to 100 years of age. And what we intend to do on Saturday, we're going to do a special treat for the kids. We hope to have Santa Claus arriving on the site in a sailing boat. Yes, Santa Claus. And we're inviting persons from the local children's home who will come out, and the Kiwanis Club is going to sponsor, giving each child that comes out a gift.
That's very good. So, Chester, any parting words as we get set to sail on Thursday, 9:30 first race?
No, 9 o'clock first race. And it's important that we get started on time because, you know, Fisher, these days are very short now. By 5:30, it's pretty much black dark. And we want to get finished in a timely fashion because the guys need ample time to get their boats secured and everything, because we don't want no incidents. So we want to try to get started in a timely fashion so we can get finished in a timely fashion.
Well, the best of the best is on for this weekend. The official opening ceremony is set for tomorrow, and come Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's all about sailing. What will the weather be this weekend? We're going to have to ask our weather chief, Basil, right after this break. Basil, are we going to have some good weather this weekend for sailing? Let us know.
When I got the call of what Siesta was doing with the Give Back Girl project, I immediately said yes.
Just tired and want everything to go well. And I told Siesta, like, I don't know if I could go to Abago. I don't know. I know I would just be an emotional wreck.
Hey guys, I need help.
The difference this time, it was a lot larger. These projects take a lot to make happen.
Well, it's a lot of anticipation, but I kept looking.
We had volunteers near and far.
It was important for everyone to be on the same page, to be organized.
The police said, hey, you all were here all day, and someone was able to come in and plant something, and the dog found it.
Without people like Siesta, the world would be pretty much messed up.
See, these are things y'all got to watch.
In our final look at what a strong cold front passed through the capital last evening, is now across the central Bahamas, and that will continue to move towards the south and east. Meanwhile, behind that, temperatures will be cooling down. We'll see temperatures in the 70s during the daytime and the 60s and even some 50s in extreme northwest Bahamas over the next couple of days. Our forecast for today calls for mostly sunny and cool conditions, 75 degrees for your high temperature today. And tonight, we're looking at a partly cloudy conditions, temperature around 61 degrees. And if those clouds break up sufficiently, we can perhaps see a 59 here in the capital as well. So a chilly night shaping up out for you. The extended weather forecasts are looking like this. Beautiful weather heading into the weekend, but it seems as though on Sunday we could have a couple of showers in the forecast. But temperature-wise, it's going to remain below the 80-degree mark. So if you're going out to best of the best, make sure to keep yourself nice and warm and wear some warm clothing. Nighttime temperatures today will remain in the 60s. Tomorrow night, we're looking at 63 degrees, warming up on Thursday to about 67. Get up to about 68 on Saturday and Sunday, and then things warm up even further on Monday of next week. So there you have it, a beautiful week shaping up, save for the possibility of 1 or 2 showers on Sunday. Jiminita?
Well, thanks, Basil. As you can see from our live tower cam shot, we have a shot of the Nassau Harbor. Well, we hope you enjoyed today's show. And as usual, a special thanks for those of you that got up early and watch online. From all of us here, I'm Jiminita Swain. Make it a terrific Tuesday.